Okay, so let's get into this. There's been a major shakeup in the DeFi perpetual space that you brought to my attention.
Yeah, it's pretty dramatic. We're looking at sources detailing this, well, volume war, really, between Aster, the newcomer, and Hyperliquid, the, established player.
And Aster just briefly shot past Hyperliquid in daily volume. That's unexpected.
Totally. It felt like an ambush, honestly, an incredibly aggressive market blitz. So our goal here is to unpack how they pulled this off.
Right. What was the strategy? Because the numbers, they're just wild.
Staggering. Aster's open interest, the total value traders have in open contracts that jumped, get this, 33,500%.
Wait, 33,000 in how long?
In a single week.
Yeah.
From around $3.7 million to $1.25 billion.
Okay, that's not just retail FOMO.
Right.
That's serious capital moving.
Exactly. And then look at the peak volume day. Aster hit nearly $24.7 billion traded in 24 hours.
24.7 billion.
Yep. On the same day, Hyperliquid did about 10 billion. So Aster just, blew them out of the water for that day.
That kind of move doesn't just happen. It smells like coordination, high incentives.
Textbook vampire attack. Just like, you remember SushiSwap versus Uniswap?
Oh yeah, classic DeFi history. Drain the competitor's liquidity with better rewards.
Precisely. Aster's main weapon, a massive airdrop campaign, super rewarding, very aggressive. They set aside over 53% of their entire token supply just for community incentives.
Whoa, hold on. 53%. Isn't that just setting up for a huge token dump later? Massive dilution.
That's the risk, definitely. But here's where it gets interesting, maybe a bit murky for DeFi purists. Aster wasn't acting alone.
Ah, okay. Centralized help.
Significant strategic backing. We're talking the Binance ecosystem, BNB chain providing the rails, YZI Labs involved, plus exposure through CoinMarketCap.
So not just marketing fluff, actual technical and capital support.
Right, and then there was the CZ effect. A single public comment from Changpeng Zhao gave it this huge legitimacy boost.
Like an institutional nod. That opens doors to capital that most DeFi protocols just dream of.
Absolutely. It sort of blurred the lines between centralized power and decentralized protocols.
Okay, so incentives and backing explain the surge. But let's talk fundamentals. The tech. Because Hyperliquid and Aster are built very differently, right?
Completely different philosophies. Hyperliquid is like the specialist, the performance obsessive.
They built their own layer 1 blockchain just for trading.
Exactly. Custom built. Proprietary consensus mechanism, HyperBFT. It's all optimized for one thing. Speed.
Mm-hmm.
Ultra low latency.
What kind of speed are we talking?
Up to 200,000 orders per second. And importantly, zero gas fees for actual trading. They prioritized raw infrastructure power.
Okay, makes sense. Sacrifice broad compatibility for pure performance.
Right. Now contrast that with Aster. They're the aggregator.
Relying on multiple chains.
Yep. BNB chain, Ethereum, Solana, Arbitrum. Their game is user convenience, making it easy to trade from wherever you are, no complex bridging.
And they added specific features to pull users in.
Oh yeah, features designed for acquisition, like leverage up to 1001x.
1,000 times leverage. Seriously.
Seriously. Plus, they offer perpetuals on traditional stocks, like Apple and Tesla, trading 247. Big draw for some traders.
And wasn't there something about collateral?
Yeah, the trade and earn model. You can use yield-bearing assets like staked BNB as BNB as collateral. So your capital is working for you even while it's backing your trades. Very efficient.
Okay, so you have Hyperliquid, the focused infrastructure powerhouse, versus Aster, the user-friendly, feature-rich aggregator with heavy incentives and CEX backing.
That's the core conflict.
So thinking about sustainability, Aster won a daily volume battle, yes. But like you said, maybe a sugar high. Is volume the right metric here?
It's a metric, but not the only one. That $24 billion day was fueled by the airdrop frenzy. If you look longer term, like 30-day volume, Hyperliquid is still dominant. We're talking around $300 billion. That shows more sustained, deeper liquidity.
So the real tension is Hyperliquid's model, built on, presumably, trading fees and sustainable tokenomics, versus Aster's high-risk, incentive-driven growth.
Exactly. And Aster's model leads heavily on that centralized support network. This whole thing is a fascinating test case for this centralized DeFi hybrid idea.
Right. So for you listening, the key takeaway seems pretty clear. Aster's massive surge, it was less organic groundswell, more a very well-funded, strategically planned liquidity grab.
Driven by those huge incentives and, crucially, that centralized backing from the Binance sphere. Hyperliquid, meanwhile, looks like the fundamentally stronger infrastructure play, maybe built more for the long haul.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it?
I think so. It really makes you wonder if getting massive, almost institutional level backing from centralized players becomes the key ingredient for a quote-unquote decentralized protocol to achieve that kind of rapid scale.
Yeah. Does that mean the very definition of DeFi, what we thought it was, needs to change? Something to think about.